we doing here?
Well, we're gonna tap the red maple trees that are here on the south side of the building outside my classroom so that we can see how well they produce sap for the first time, I think maybe in ARM's history. So we're gonna do it. We have our equipment here. We've got a bucket for each tree we're gonna tap. And we also have this, which is called a spile. This goes into the tree itself and the sap drips out of this into the bucket. It looks like this. We'll show you this once we get outside. In order to attach it, we've got to drill a hole into each tree. And this doesn't hurt the tree at all. The maple trees actually heal very quickly because their sap has so much nutrition in it that it can heal within a couple of years. And then each bucket gets a lid. This keeps out little critters or anything else that might come along, so that we can measure all of the sap that comes out of each tree and see if we can make some maple syrup or maple candy at the end of the season.
So it's still cold out. How do you know this is a maple tree?
My advisory this fall, as the leaves were coming down, we took a special note and we collected some of these leaves and turned them and preserved them with wax. We know that this is a red maple tree because of the leaf shading. This is not a sugar maple tree, but red maple trees and sugar maple trees and black maple trees, their sap all has about 2 to 5% sugar content, which is why for tens of thousands and thousands and thousands of years, indigenous people in this region would really covet a maple tree for all of the things it provides, including its sap. And so when we collect all of the sap, we would boil it down to concentrate that sugar content. And you can do that with sugar maple trees or red maple trees. It doesn't really matter because maple tree family all have sugar content in their sap.
Okay, nice.
So why are we doing this now? Is it kind of like crops? You have to plant them a certain time of year, or what's the deal?
Yeah, it is kind of like that. There is a season for this, and it's that season, which is the window in mid-February to March, where temperatures at night get below freezing, but during the day it's above freezing. And what that does is it wakes the tree up. And so the tree, with all of the sugar and energy that are stored in its roots, it starts to wake up and send that energy up to the tree so that new buds can form on these branches. And that is the sap that has the sugar content. And it only lasts a few weeks when the temperature is below freezing at night and above freezing during the day. And then once it's above freezing totally, the season's over and the tree starts to bloom.
Huh.
Hey, you know, that makes me think of sugar, right? And sugar is like
glucose?
like glucose. I bet some of this sugar is glucose. I'm guessing.
How do you think the tree made the glucose?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's something with, you know, whatever this is. Wouldn't you say?
Like, where are we starting here?
Well, we're trying to think about how the sap is traveling up the tree. And so usually the best place is either above like a big root cluster like this, or maybe below a branch where we know the sap is going to go out into the branch. So I think right around this area is pretty good. And we'll drill at sort of an upward angle so that when we set the spile, gravity will take the sap through the spile and it'll drop in the bucket.
All right.
Just gonna go one more time.
How deep do you make that thing?
Ideally, we need to get about 1.5 inches in there, which I definitely just did. That's a pretty good spot.
Okay. 1.5 inches. All right.
Yep.
Look at that. That thing's already, the sap's already pouring out of this thing.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good tree.
Nice. That's cool.
That happened so quickly.
Look at that.
And this is sweet if you taste it. I mean, it's like you can literally taste how sweet it is.
Oh yeah.
Tapping
Really?
the tree is because that's the actual physical action of setting the spile. You're not like jamming it in there. You literally tap, tap, tap just a tiny bit just so that it can be there without falling out. As the spring blooms, the tree will actually expand and really set it in there. But what we don't want is to really jam it in there and crack this hole, because then the sap will leak out and we won't be able to collect as much.
Oh.
It'll set itself. Let's
Okay.
see if I can just gently, ever so gently. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. That's about all we need right
But
there.
it has to be strong enough so that you can hang a bucket on it.
Which we'll do right now.
Oh my god. That is so cool. It's already dripping out. Look at that. Wow. That is cool. I had no idea it would do it that
Yeah, I'm
fast.
shocked it happened that quickly, honestly.
So that's it. Then we'll put a cap on it to make sure nothing gets in there that we don't want to get in there. And we'll keep track of how much sap this tree collects this sugaring season.
Cool.